In this video, we want to go over fixed versus adaptive predictive devices. We live in an amazing age with lots of technology to help people learn, especially those who have learning disabilities, dyslexia and things like this, where letters get mixed up in their order or word order gets messed up, and the various forms of learning disabilities. These types of devices, programs, things like that can be very beneficial to helping the person with the learning disability accomplish their goals, to learn more and not get bogged down in the nitty-gritty of the things that they struggle with. And basically what we have here then, the contrast between these two types of devices, programs, is that the fixed predictive device basically pays attention to what the person is typing, and based on the letters already entered starts offering suggested words. Are you trying to type one of the following words? The fixed comes in that the list of words, of possible vocabulary words that the person's trying to type, remains static. It remains the same. That particular word options always come in the same order. Now this can have a beneficial effect as the person gets used to looking at those list of words based on the spelling of what they've typed so far. So it has its own benefits, but you may have to scroll a lot down to the particular word you're looking for, which can be a bit tedious. So in contrast to the fixed predictive form of device, there's the adaptive. Now adaptive learns from the person. For the past 5 times when they started typing this word, this was the particular word that they wanted. This word that they wanted is used more often than other words that are similar, and therefore it will move it up in the list and make it one of the top choices. So the adaptive one says this particular word is chosen more often than the other words, will make it one of the first choices. This also has a benefit as it makes things a little more efficient as the program tries to predict or learn which words you use more often than others. The total benefit of all this, whether it's fixed or adaptive, is this: that the person who is using the program, one, does not get frustrated and bogged down in the thing that they are struggling with, spelling and whatnot. They're able to get their words on paper and move forward, but they are constantly getting exposed to proper spelling and proper grammar. I've said it many times when I've taught students and others that the more senses you can use, the easier it is to learn things. And the more often you can see something with your eyes, often, the easier it is for you to remember. So instead of just brute memorizing the spelling of words, if you see that word properly spelled again and again and again and again and again, it helps you know the proper spelling. It helps you learn it. You can actually look at a word and say, that doesn't look right. I don't think that word is spelled properly because I've seen it umpteen thousand times and it never looks like that. And then that will drive you then to go look it up or do what you need to do. Of course, spell checkers are invaluable. Extremely helpful. Don't know how I could survive without them, basically, but constant exposure to the words, not only the spelling of the words, but the order of the words, the proper grammar as well as the proper spelling, help those with learning disabilities gain and make progress. So these types of devices and programs are extremely helpful and a necessary thing. Now, remember the difference between the fixed and the adaptive. The fixed, the order stays the same every time, no matter how often you choose the word. You could choose the same vocabulary word 100 times, it's still going to appear in the same place in the list of the options when you start typing those letters for that particular word. The adaptive one learns, okay, for the last 15 times as you started to type those 3 letters, this is the word you were looking for, and will then appropriately move it up in the list as, were you looking for this one? You look for this one a lot, and help out in that regard. They both have their pluses and benefits. This is just maybe a difference in ease of use or preference in that way, depending on what you're trying to teach, what you're trying to get across. There can be value in forcing the looking through the entire list so they're exposed to more words and developing motor skills and things like this. Anyway, just been a basic overview about the difference between fixed and adaptive predictive devices, the benefit being frequency of exposure to correct spelling and grammar aids in the learning process. If you'd like to learn more about this or related matters, underneath this video you'll see a link. If you'll click on that link, it'll take you to the website that has that information. And while you're on that website, you'll also find a link to an ebook that's ready for immediate download.